Yeah, how's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the Gold and Silver brothers that are going to be the Super Impact for Golden Week next week. And I touched on this in my Golden Week units video because we already knew that this was going to be the Super Impact for next week. This is nothing new, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the units today, and hopefully we can get like an idea of maybe what they'll be like, because I really hope that it's a good Super Impact, man. Not too hard, that you might definitely not need the actual Blazing Festival units. That would be amazing, similarly to how Obito was. Super easy, didn't need Sakura. I love that type of stuff, and I feel like a lot of people in the player base do as well, because even if the Super Impact's impossible or not, people are going to summon regardless. So just making an easy Super Impact, and at the same time, I think the units should be pretty good, man. I mean, it is Kinkaku and Ginkaku. They're not fodder, and they're really not. They are pretty strong, so when it comes to that, I would like to see them be pretty strong just in the game, because there's a lot of things that we still need for Blazing Awakened free-to-play units. So hopefully they could put those type of abilities that I'm thinking into them, and they'll be pretty helpful on PvP. So rather than just look at a card of the unit that I prepared, this time I wanted to go ahead and just take a look at past Super Impact units, because I usually don't talk about Super Impact units. I always talk about either 5 Kage League units when it comes to this type of stuff, maybe even Blazing Bash, but definitely not Super Impact, because they could really do a lot of things with them. It's hard to say what a Super Impact unit might be, because a lot of the time too, they kind of make the Blazing Festival go for the Super Impact. So, and I don't like speculating on Blazing Festival usually either, because they can do a lot for it, but when it comes to PvP, it's a little bit easier to understand because there's usually a meta in place. So that's why I like predicting that type of thing. But a lot of the time with Super Impact units, they really don't make them that good, and so even though they try to go with the meta, it doesn't always fit and align with it. So that's why it's a little bit more challenging predicting these type of things. But we're gonna go ahead and look at past Super Impact units, at least as far as third year New Year's right here. Probably that's as far as I'm gonna go back, because that's kind of the most recent, I feel like, since the meta started changing and evolving after we got Toby Rama and all that stuff, I feel like. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and look at those units. When it comes to Donzo, I feel like he was probably the worst one we've gotten so far since New Year's for sure. All they gave him was dodging and then chakra sealing resistance by 20%, so like nothing at all. And then for sync skills, they just made it where you can't get jutsu sealed or immobilized, but because they make it such a small percentage, again, it's just like worthless. I never saw this Donzo ever at all. He's just not good. So what they need to do is bump up the rates, man. Like, they need to make the percents more. Like, yes, it's a free-to-play unit, but like 15 to 20%, that's never ever really gonna help you at all. The odds are stacked way against you, which I don't like. Then we had Hagoromo, which is one that I didn't get because that raid was really annoying and stupid, but they did start introducing those newer kind of abilities as well, which I really like. So he had just heals and stuff, but he also had immobilization and jutsu sealing, and that was for 30%. So that's what I'm saying. If they're gonna give us just a low percent, like, that's not that much higher than the other percent, but it's 30%. That's not bad, but they made it one ability. At least they didn't waste a bunch of slots. The healing, however, was kind of pointless. I will be honest, even though it does change once you get to PvP, of course. So doing damage when an ally is defeated or enemy, I don't like that stuff either. That's why I didn't think Hagoromo was the greatest, but that immobilization and jutsu sealing resistance is good. Jutsu sealing rate boost, immobilization rate boost, also very good. And then immobilization and jutsu sealing again. So I think he had good sync skills. Again, the rates need to be higher though. And then Madara, man, I think Madara was actually one of the best ones we've had so far. So his PvE form just had all of these, which, I mean, obviously can be good. This is where the rates really got boosted up. I think that Madara was the best one we've had since New Year's when it comes to a Super Impact unit. He's not bad at all. He has jutsu sealing for 60% right here, chakra recovery for 60, immobilization 30, and then he also has the sync skills for damage taken. This is just his PvE form, and that alone is pretty good for PvE, obviously, but you could even take it to PvP. But then once you get to his PvP side, man, oh boy, switch sealing resistance 50%, immobilization and jutsu sealing resistance 50%, and then a 15% chance to get chakra not being used on his first jutsu. I think that this Madara had some amazing abilities, because not only were the rates high, he had a 50%, which is a 1 in 2 chance pretty much to not get switch seal, which is amazing. That's actually really good for a free-to-play unit. and then he also had a 1 in 2 chance of not getting immobilized and or jutsu sealed. I think that's amazing. They definitely, as you can see, have gotten higher and higher with the rates over time. I think that this was a really good start with Madara. They made it, a lot of people agree that this Madara was pretty good. The last ability is what it is, 15%. That's not bad for a free-to-play unit, especially when you take into account that his first jutsu is AoE, so I understand. But at the same time, this Madara, man, yeah, they did a good job with his abilities. His sync skills, though, reducing damage. I guess they wanted him to be a tank, although I don't think that his sync skills were that great. But then again, at the same time, if they have all this immobilization and jutsu sealing, then you don't really need that in the sync skills. I wish they would have just given him chakra recovery resistance, because he doesn't have any of that, and you kind of have to have that along with these to be viable. But with that said, as you can see, we're getting higher and higher with the rates. Then we had Obito, which I didn't really think was that amazing, and it sucks for me to say that about my boy like that, but obviously because of Kamui, even though he can't use it as the Jubi Jinchuriki, they want to go ahead and make it where he could dodge, because it is Obito, of course. So obviously Obito has to have some sort of dodging. I mean, that's just common sense. Not every Jubito does, though. Like, I don't believe the last one did from last year, but he wasn't that great also. So this man had a total of 45% chance to dodge, which is not bad. That's really not bad. That can help you out a lot, especially when you boost the speed too. I haven't really talked about field and buddy skill yet, but that's a really good one right there. And then he also had 10 and 10, which is not very good. Again, they should have made it higher. I don't know why they went back on it. I think Madara was really amazing. Like, it's a free-to-play unit, and super impacts are usually pretty challenging, and the grind to get them maxed out, it should be worth it, man. Like, if they're worried about it taking away from summoning on Blazing Bash, there's no reason they should be worried, because even a 50% chance is nothing compared to what a Blazing Bash unit has, where it nullifies it outright. And then on top of that, this Jubito, he did have some jutsu sealing resistance for syncing with Uchiha, so that was an extra bit, but they messed up by making it where he boosts his attack rather than just making it where he gets the immobilization instead of the jutsu sealing. So as you can see, jutsu sealing, immobilization, all those type of things. Now, I actually want for the Kinkaku and Ginkaku to be more like this Madara. I want them to have switch sealing resistance. I think they should have at least 2 abilities for switch sealing, and then they should maybe have jutsu sealing and immobilization. Honestly, if they copied this Madara, I would not be upset at all. All I would say is change the last ability to either chakra recovery resistance or make it where the sync skill is. And honestly, man, like, I think we need more switch sealing resistance, because like, you have units that just, they switch seal you so hard, man. You got Sage Mode, Blazing Awaken, Naruto. You also have Killer B who can do it. Like, it's just like, you gotta watch out, man. You just have to, because with those type of units running around, it's just too dangerous not to have switch sealing resistance. So yeah, there is that as well, but hopefully they will do that for Kinkaku and Ginkaku. That's really what I want. Switch sealing, immobilization, jutsu sealing, rates up, and just make his jutsu pretty good as well, because these jutsu for these units actually have been pretty good as like too. With Madara, he does, I believe, what? He steals away. No, he doesn't steal chakra. Yeah, he does steal chakra for 2, and then chakra recovery sealing for 5 turns. 75% chance. AoE. Like, this Madara is really good, man. He's really good. Now, they don't have to make it where they steal chakra away. They could definitely give them some cool effect, because they are able to go into the 9 tails form, so maybe they'll have that for the ultimate or the first jutsu. We'll see. I'm pretty safe in saying they're going to be a 4-8. They never really make 3-6 chakra super impact units. They do, but not too often, so I don't feel like they're going to do that for the gold and silver brothers. But with that said, I hope they give him a good AoE jutsu like this. I hope they give him amazing abilities. Like, I want them to use this Madara Uchiha as a template, because this man was one of the best Blazing Awaken super impact units that we've had in a long while. So hopefully that gives you guys kind of like a little inspiration of what I want for next week's Blazing Awaken free-to-play unit, because the super impact units, man, they have not been living up to expectations, and I want there to be a reason to jump into it, especially if the Blazing Festival units are going to be fun as well. But yeah, that's going to take care of it. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.